Good afternoon, Dapplings, and welcome back to From the Depths. I just realised that I've greeted you with a time-specific greeting. Oh, what a noob mistake. Cue everyone who's watching this in the morning. It's not afternoon, Avak, you silly person from Britain. What kind of weird time zone are you in? I am in the first time zone. Greenwich Mean Time, +0. The +0 means it's the first. Or it's got the least bonus. I mean, depending on the way you look at it, some of the time zones are like way better. Like the +12s, wow. If you interpret bigger numbers as being better. In which case, wow, GMT utterly sucks. But back to what I am currently doing. I am going to be building a new ship, a new small ship. We are in the vehicle designer for that exact reason. The idea with this is I want something that like a mothership can spawn. Not specifically like an aircraft carrier or anything like that. I want these to be kind of standalone little units. They're deployed, kind of like mines. Only you don't crash into them to have an explosion. Just little automated defense turrets. Yes, turrets is probably the most accurate word for what I'm envisaging here. Now, we're not actually going to need a chair in the end. We are going to want. Now, I'm not aiming to make this cheap, so I'm just going to say that right now. It's not going to be. So for everyone who's about to tell me off for never being able to make anything cheap, you are, of course, correct. I can't, but I'm not trying to this time, so it's okay. We are going to want a precision spin block. Now, this is purely 100% unnecessary. Probably 114% unnecessary, I would say. We are going to be using lightweight metal alloy, and we want let's go for a beam of about 4 tall. We want this to be the safety area. We are going to want a mirror line there. This area is going to make this whole, it's going to be like a little umbrella to protect this defense turret from enemy attack. Let's get the 2 slope and just generally bring this down into the water's edge. There we go. So we've got our little umbrella, our protective covering for this little area. Now I'm going to have to figure a way of making this almost circular on top without it looking like complete garbage, and that is going to be tricky in the extreme, actually. But this is generally the shape that we need to work to. So I've got my idea now. I know how big of an area we're working on. Likewise, I'm going to place another lightweight metal alloy block there. Now, what I'm thinking down here is we are going to be using light blocks. I'm going to go here, light block. Now, this is going to make this painfully expensive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 light blocks is a lot of light blocks. Next, though, we want, let's see, a turret. We want a 360 precision turret. Now, this is going to be our torpedo deployer. It's going to be turreted so that it can rotate around. It's going to be just a slow little turning turret just to fire torpedoes out at near targets. So we want this to start being heavy because this is the bottom and we want the bottom to be definitely staying in the water. So we're going to switch to metal blocks. But the light metal alloy on top is probably also going to be studded with metal just to add that little bit of extra armor and make it a little bit more difficult for shots to penetrate. Now we've got some really nice blocks here. We've got the 4-meter slopes, inverted triangle, and triangle. That is gorgeous for what we're going to be doing. But first, let's just set this up. Ideally, I would prefer it. I always actually prefer the metal to start a little bit further back with the beam. Now, that's hard to do sometimes, so we're going to have to do it like that. And then probably... let's think. You know what? Actually, let's place down the mirror line first before we do anything else. We want this down here. Let's just rotate that correctly. There we go. And then a 1 meter slope up at the top. Something not quite like that. No, not quite like that. We will get there in a moment though. Right, this is going to be the launch pad, which will be connected to the missile control up here, then the staggered or friend or foe. Because this is going to be a simple little turret, I actually do want it to have friend or foe on it. Probably because I'm going to make it self-guided. The missiles are going to be guiding themselves, so I don't want any shenanigans going on. Let's see. We could go with... You know what? Yeah, we could. Hadn't even thought of that. I haven't played around with these enough yet to really start to appreciate what they can do. That was silly of me. I accept. No excuses. That was just dumb. Right, there we go. That looks pretty nice there. We could then have a 4 meter slope on the top. Something just like so. And we can take this in by 1. I actually quite like having those these kind of lips overshooting the middle of the target. If we really, really, really wanted to, we could possibly have some sort of laser designator there. But honestly, I would prefer to have this one be self-guiding. Right, so no, not the controller. We want the missile launch pad facing out in this direction, I think. Then the missile blocks. Yes, that's perfect. Now, we don't need much for a torpedo system. They are gloriously cheap. We will place these down. We will then get the missile control right there. We will set this on 1. Really, there's not much to do with this because it's going to be controlled probably by... If we put the weapon controller... Actually, thinking about it. Should have thought about that. Might have needed to extend this out. I may have doomed us all. We'll have to see on this one. If I place the weapon controller there, I might just be able to attach the AI. In fact... Before I go any further, well, actually, thinking about it, we can just build this, then we'll make it a turret, and then just snap it off and then put it back on. Now, yes, I am building the weapon system in the designer for this one. And that is because that's all this is. It's pretty much just a weapon system. It isn't going to have any other configuration. We want the identify friend or foe, and we want that turned around to face it. In fact, we can actually have friend or foe right there. Friend or foe, and then staggered fire. Yeah, actually, I quite like that. Oops. That's not what I meant to do. There we go. And staggered fire should be as long as it can be. I don't want this firing too frequently. We'll go back. The main reason why I don't want it firing too frequently is because if it does, then we're going to run out of ammo pretty quick because this is not going to have a lot. It's just going to have a couple of passive ammo barrels because there's no way of us putting active resupply on this one simply because it lacks any power source. I could, thinking about it, give it an electric engine, but I'm not really sure that that would actually complement this design. Right, so this little weapon system can launch out its torpedoes. They're not particularly long-range torpedoes. We want just a few basic things. Torpedo propeller, 1 fuel tank. We could possibly have 2 fuel tanks, perhaps. Target prediction guidance. We're going to need an infrared seeker. And then let's... Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4... Yeah. Let's see. Have we got any 4 long... We've got the eel Mark 1s. We could try that, actually. Let's load the eel Mark 1 and see what that's set up with. APN fragmentation warhead. Torpedo sonar. No, I prefer to give you the infrared seeker. We could get rid of the APN guidance then and give you an infrared camera and tell you just to aim for a random point in the block. That'll actually work out quite well. Fragmentation warhead, explosive warhead. Fragmentation warheads, fairly tight cone. You know what? Instead of the explosive, let's give you an EMP. So you can try and shut down. You'll be the... Ooh. This... I actually like this. Okay. Let's save this new design. This shall be... Oh, damn it. Come on. The Electric Eel Mark 1. That turned out quite nice. Yes, I like that. Okay, set that up. There we go. Alright, so we've got our basic little weapon system there, all hidden away, all the way down there. Right, now, here's the test. When we try to add this in, and it has to be on this block, is this going to disconnect the turret? If it is, sadness. If it does not, rejoicing. One or the other. No in-betweens. I really doubt this is going to work. Let's grab this. Place it there first. In fact, we can afford to have these placed all the way around at this point. Like so. And then use the 1 meter slopes. Lock that in position. Drop a mirror line. Okay. Please don't break. I guess if you're going to, it's okay, because it's not going to be terrible for me. But I really would prefer it if you didn't. Like so. Boom! Perfect. Absolutely wondrous. Alright, so this is the center, and this is all set up. Now, minimum altitude to engage, no limit. Maximum altitude to engage, at most 10. Realistically 5. Well, we'll leave it at 10. Maximum range, I forget, I think there was only one fuel tank, but it's probably going to be able to get it out quite far. We'll give you a 1,000 range. I don't think we need to give you more than that. Yeah, we'll just leave it at 1,000. But that's pretty much it. Okay, so that's our basic AI there. We want the mainframe. Now, unfortunately, the mainframe is going to be a bit of a potch. We'll have the mainframe there. No, don't want to connect. Aha! Wait, it's because that's there. Okay, never mind. False alarm. Right there. And finally, all we really want from this is a card slot left, right. I think it's left, right, yep. There we go. And target position. It's the only thing we actually need from it. Go. Let's turn off the mirror line, just get rid of you. We literally don't need anything else. It's not going to try to move anywhere. Go for anything with the crew or player. Value per range. Shorter, and also value per speed. I'd prefer you to go for things that are generally slow. Altitude, massive negative. So we'll put it at, well, I don't want it to go for things that are literally the lowest it can go to, but we'll set it up with something like that. That should be good enough. So there we go, a little bit of AI there, all set, ready to fire. And, you know what, because that kind of looks lopsided, let's change this. We could go in here, have a front and back card slot, and then have the target prioritization behind, then set this up in much the same way. There we go, and pull that down. Perfect. Right, all set up. Our little missile launcher system can turn around, face different targets. That's glorious. Now on the middle, all we need is back to the, I would say the metal blocks, but at the same time, I don't want to make it too heavy, otherwise it'll sink. In fact, that's the point. Let's just take this out. Oh, really? Take me up there, please. Where are we? Okay. Don't actually want to break it. What on earth are you doing? You crazy little thing. It's it's celebrating. It's happy to be born. Look at it dancing there. Oh, it's fantastic. You do kind of resemble a Mandrake, though. Not sure about that. But okay. Well, let's continue. Oh my good lord. We do need to add a little bit of extra weight at the bottom then, it seems, just to ensure that you do, in fact, not keep doing that. As fun as it was to behold, I think it would be better if you remained relatively calm. So we want to go back to editing the hull. The light block at the bottom will allow us to look straight down, or should. Boom, there we go. In fact, we'll add another one as well. We want this to be fairly low down at the end of the day. Here we're going to add in a control block, automated control, and set this to if the vehicle health is above anything, then I want the spin blocks. Let's set rotation speed. Wow. The turret's like, no, don't do this. Why would you do such a thing to me? Please tell me I didn't build that. Did I actually build that as a spin block? Oh my good lord. Really? That was meant to be a turret. Okay. Well, that's a bit of a pain. Well, let's set this down to 0 for now. I do believe, yes, that you are going to have to go away. Sorry about this. Goodbye. Oh, you're still there. How awkward. Goodbye. You get. Right. Okay. Well, let's go to load sub-object, eel launcher, and we want a 360-degree precision turret. Boom. There we go. Hopefully now that'll be all right. So let's put this up to 4. No, that's a little bit too fast. 2.5. There we go. That kind of looks good. Then we can get back to building this down properly. So metal block, metal beam, and a couple of these down. Now, this is where we're going to have our ammo supply. It's going to be fairly low down. Not so low down that it's actually going to be safe, mind you, but I don't think there's going to be a time when this is going to be safe. So we're just going to have to accept that one. Now, once again, I've kind of made a rod for my own back with this one, because now I need to find a way of making this kind of circular without it looking dumb. And when you're dealing with a game that mostly deals in blocks and cuboids, that's hard. That is really actually quite a difficult prospect indeed. Ah, scallywags. That would have been so much easier. Okay, at this point now, I accept that if I just made one side by itself and then switched to prefabs, it would have been faster. Damn it. Yeah, let's just get in a couple of metal blocks at the bottom. I'm thinking... See, the problem is, because this is so angular, it's actually going to be difficult to get this to work right, no matter what I do at this point. So what I could do instead is just accept that it's not going to quite work that way. Go for something like this instead. There we go. And then we can win out by having these awesome spikes at the bottom. Oh yes. I think that is wonderful. Glorious. Absolutely wonderful in every measurable sense. There we go. We can actually put some nice colours on that. Ooh, I hadn't even thought of that. But that is absolutely something we could look at doing. We could get quite a nice effect with that one. That was completely unintentional, but very much appreciated. There we are. And in fact, you know, just to mix it up, you can do this. That actually gives a really nice effect. But the problem is this going to be too heavy? If it is, then there are two things I can do to try and fix that. One, I can change much of the metal on the turret to lightweight metal alloy. Two, I can create a kind of bubble in the in the spinning top. A little air-locked compartment to try and keep the buoyancy up. Right, let's jump up to you and see how you're doing. Yeah, you're just kind of sinking. Not really doing too much. Oh, no, there you are. No, are you properly sinking? You've kind of got the right shape. Question is, are you just going to keep going down? I think it is. Drat, damn, and blast. Oh no, wait. I think the top has just got enough buoyancy by itself to keep this from going down in the water. It's actually genuinely starting to look like a Mandrake. With the missiles for eyes. That wasn't even intentional. Now let's go back to the spin block. Now this one is going to be a little bit more awkward, but the more lightweight alloy we place up here, the lighter this thing is going to become overall. And so the better, the stronger of an effect we're going to have at reducing the sinking. So that's actually pretty nice. Okay, let's get in there. I hope you can't hear my stomach rumbling, because that would be very embarrassing. There we go. And let's place this down. Yeah, I think that looks okay-ish for the top. We do kind of need these lower sections to have a bit more of a shape to them, though. How about... You know what? We could go with these. No, actually, yeah, I could do that, but I don't actually think that gives the best effect. I think this probably does. For some reason, this just speaks to me a little bit louder. There we go. And then go back to these. Yeah, I prefer this actually. Prefer that a lot. Okay, that gives a little bit more of a nicer, interesting shape at the top. And then, of course, we can have these. I don't want the top to be quite as menacing with spikes as the bottom. There we go. That actually looks kind of cool. I like that. We could even... You know what? We could... Even though this is not going to be connected to anything, I do like the idea... No, not that one. Where are you? Laser light emitter. Punk. I like that. It does nothing for this bot, but it gives it a bit more style. Yes, I like that. You know what? I'm probably going to end up using a prefab, so I'm just going to work on this side for now. Because again, quite a lot of work. What? Oh, phew. I thought I'd broken something. We could even have an air pump up there if we absolutely had to. We don't yet, and I'm hesitant to make it something we have to do, but we could. I would like, actually, let's go with a 2-meter triangle going up. No, that's a little bit premature there. Let's do something like this instead. Yeah, actually I like that. And then grab that one in there. Let's see. And you know what? I don't actually think we need to do any more. We can just do that. I think that gives us a very, very nice shape. Very nice shape indeed. We would want to keep it on this level though. We don't want to go down any further than this. Otherwise we're going to start running into problems where we might actually start smacking into the components down there. Yes, I like it. That's a very narrow little area in there. Does that only take out one thing, or does it take out a whole lot? Took out a whole lot, but we can easily just bulk that up. And then if we place a pump, probably at the up by here. So we want water. Ah, we can't place an air pump on a spin block. Well, that scuppers my plans a little bit, I'll be honest with you. But I think I can manage for the most part. Let's see, where do we want to make a prefab here? If we go over to prefabs, we will grab missile AI. I'm fairly sure that was one of my mistakes. And I have no idea what kind of dimensions we need here. So we'll have to discover that one as we go. That is as far forward as we need to be. It's actually almost right. So we need one more length and one more on each side with the width. Bump. There. We should be able to just do all four sides now. Much easier than before. And there we go. Actually quite a nice little design there. Now hopefully that's going to be able to keep it out of the drink. Not entirely sure on that one. Especially because I can't put any air pumps inside the spin blocks. That is really quite a shame. I can understand why though. It would have made it very awkward. And I also need to just touch this up. Unfortunately, that was clearly not caught. Ah, wait. It's because all of those sides already had something there. That was one of the things that I hadn't taken away. But there we go. I think they're all good now. Yes. Okay. Right, let's see. How does this do? Let's have a quick look at you. See how you sink. Or swim. Hopefully swim. Hopefully there is some swimming going on. It looks like it's stabilizing because the top is so buoyant. Okay, well you can go back to 2. There we are. Very, very nice. And the weapon system should be able to deal with itself. Okay, so all that remains is to add in the ammo. And then this is something that can be deployed. Now, initially, I was thinking that it would actually be just attached to some sort of mothership kind of a vessel. But in reality, I'm starting to think this is just going to be some sort of automated spawning block. If there are enemies present, then perhaps it'll immediately start to produce these. Is that me falling off? Yes, it is. And just kind of dot the area with them. I think that would actually be pretty cool. Oops. There we go. I think this is probably going to be all the ammo we really need. How deep are we in the water? We're actually not that deep. It's okay. We could add a little bit more. Or alternatively, I could add on some repair bots. And as you know, repair bots probably better than not. Probably going to be much more useful. There we are. And, you know, just for because everyone is going to say it. Space crates. There we go. Ah, no! What have I done? I've destroyed it. Scallywags. Okay, well, I'll just put this back. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. It's probably throwing things out a little bit in terms of balance, but not too terribly bad. There we go. I honestly think this is looking like... This really does look like a Mandrake. I'm sorry, but it does. In which case, maybe I should change the types of torpedoes. But honestly, I like the names of the torpedoes as they are. But yeah, I'm actually pretty pleased with this little deployable structure. And here we are, the finished Mandrake. I know you can't see the bottom yet, it's keeping it as a surprise. But you can already tell from the top that I have done a little bit more work in making this, at the very least, a bit more spiky. Now, if we look down here, I have addressed obvious concerns in finishing up the shape. I haven't painted it though, and that is something I'm actually going to leave to the comments to decide. I'm really not sure what colour to go for. My gut tells me I should actually paint it like a Mandrake root, so more kind of muted browns, tans, and the top should perhaps be green like fronds of foliage, but I'm going to leave that to the comments to decide. But going over what I've done, I've added a couple of repair tentacles. Honestly, these are there more for aesthetics. They kind of look like roots stretching down. I've also got a couple of rams down here. Again, primarily for aesthetics, though at least with the repair tentacles they will actually serve a purpose. This ammo stockpile, heavily armored now. In fact, thinking about it, I could possibly put a little bit more armor on the sides there as well, just to help out. But as you can see, we've got a couple of repair bots. In fact, actually, thinking about it, I may have forgotten to add back the... Oh yes, I have. I've forgotten to add back the supplies crates, the spares. Let me add those in now. But as you can see, I have pulled back on the amount of ammo stored in here and also given it significantly more armor, especially towards the top. But let's go ahead and add in some spares crates. Honestly, I suspect we don't actually need nearly as many of these barrels as we've got. So we're going to add in... Actually, if I took this away, would I be able to place a barrel there? Yes, I can. Okay, that's fine. Just wanted to make sure that if this were being repaired, it could be repaired. So there's our spares crates. They will help our repairs bots put this back together, even if I'm lacking on specific resources necessary. But as you can see, significantly more armor around the ammo area. Naturally, you don't want your defense turret just blowing up. But it looks like we probably could fit something in here, so why don't we try? Let's just place that down there. Now, I don't want too much going on here. Just a little bit of shape to give it a bit more style, if you like. Some more semi-spike menacing. Not quite spikes, but close enough. Yeah, I kind of like that. Alternatively, we could go with this instead. If we take these away, we could even have some more rams. Now, I do actually like the rams used for aesthetics. I don't know why, but they just seem to make sense. Now, obviously, those ones not serving a purpose. So why don't we actually... Not that I really expect them to serve a purpose, mind you, but why don't we actually bring it up just a little bit further, just so it looks like it actually is going to do something. So about there we would need, so we need to do the same here. I should have moved the mirror line, but oh well. There we go. Right, so we've got a couple more menaces with spikes on the Mandrake, and then up here we see that the neck has been fortified. There is still only one really connecting central metal beam, and if that gets broken off, then the neck is snapped, and the head of the Mandrake will probably float off, though, or actually the bottom, I'm not sure which, and as a result, I've put repair bots on both sides. So whichever one gets snapped off, whichever part continues to survive, the repair bots will be able to work on it. Though that being said, this one won't have any spares. Do I care? No, I don't. I'm not going to put spares up there. But the neck menaces with spikes as well. The turret system has grown a little bit. Now, I'm going to quickly cover the change that I've made to the torpedo system. They are now 5 long. And we have 1 torpedo propeller, a ballast tank with a neutral buoyancy, so the torpedoes can actually aim down. Now, we really do actually need that neutral buoyancy. Otherwise, torpedoes will not actually have enough thrust unless you've got a lot of torpedo propellers for it to actually go down, or at least I've not noticed them try to. But with 0 buoyancy, the missile is going, or rather the torpedo is going to go pretty much wherever it needs to go. If it selects a block that's quite deep down in the water, then the torpedo is going to pitch down, and likewise it'll come back up if it needs to. We've got 2 fins, a fuel tank, a camera, And here we have an APN, which is an augmented proportional navigation guidance. Given that this turret is going to turn around and fire towards its target, having the APN is just going to make sure that those torpedoes actually hit. It's only got one torpedo propeller, so it's possible that it might just clip around because it's turning circle. Not going to be amazing. Mind you, more propellers would have made it even worse, but at least with more propellers, they'll reach their target before it's moved too far away. But with the APN, it's constantly going to be adjusting, rather than just adjusting in the final approach. It's constantly going to be trying to keep its target at dead ahead, so there's a much greater chance of a connection actually being made. Then we've got the fragmentation warhead and of course the EMP as before. And then up top, just a couple of extra spikes, really not too much done up here. I have got one tiny little two little repair bots either side, just to help in case the bottom gets completely sawn off by an impact. But overall, very much liking the Mandrake, and I'm so sorry that I didn't press that before now. Right, so again, I more or less settled on the name Mandrake, so we're sticking with that. But I would be... Oh, I've got a text. I do apologize about that. But I would be very interested in how you think we should paint this. So I do hope you've enjoyed this episode and look forward to any feedback in the comments below. But that is going to be it from me and from the Mandrake. Again, I hope you've liked this episode and look forward to your company in the next. But until then, do take care.